Today will be how to sharpen your knife on an ordinary sharpening stone, as my daddy taught me many years ago. He'd say if you keep playing with that knife on that sharpening stone like you're doing, you're going to cut yourself. I'd say, oh no I'm not, Daddy. In a few minutes we would be in the bathroom at the sink trying to stop the bleeding and dressing the wound. Let's get started with the video. We have a stone. This is an old one. Some say it's 100 years old. I don't know. It was given to me. Don't know what the grit is. One side's smooth and one side's coarse. I can feel that. You can get a stone at I think Ace Hardware for about $7, 6 inches long. It'll probably work. Also have a knife using my trusty Swiss Army knife. We're going to sharpen it. I have a wash rag, any kind of rag. I have some WD-40 to use instead of honing oil. It'll work just fine. And you can use 3-in-1 machine oil. It's what my daddy used to use many years ago. And if he didn't have that, he just spit on the thing. I don't know. But anyway, you can't hardly go wrong. First thing I'm going to do is put a little WD-40 or honing oil or 3-in-1 oil, whatever you have on my stone. Don't take a whole lot. I'm going to spray some on that though. And I'm doing the coarse side first since that's the side I'm going to use. Put that on there and I just kind of rub it around with my finger, get it on the stone. And then take the rag. Wonder what the rag was for? You can wrap your stone up in it and you can also wipe your hands off with it. Now, have the stone, have my knife. There are those on the YouTube that say you're supposed to hold your knife blade at about a 22-degree angle on your stone. I didn't know that until YouTube told me. So if you want to do that, let's put a 22-degree angle and see what a 22-degree angle looks like. Piece of paper, fold it corner to corner. I have a 45-degree angle. Half of 45 is 22.5. Let's fold that. Now I have approximately a 22.5-degree angle, and I'm supposed to hold my knife at an angle like this to the stone. Let's try it. Okay, this is about, I guess that's 22.5-degree. I don't know what. We just used to sharpen them. And it said to cut. You're supposed to cut your stone with a 22-degree angle to sharpen. And you're not supposed to pull it towards you like I got it, because if you slip, you're liable to cut your gut or slit your wrist. But you can't tell me nothing, so I just do that and be careful. So be very careful when you're sharpening a knife. They do it like this a while. Do it like this a while. About 25-30 strokes or so each side. Now the way we used to do it, my daddy, we just did it like this here. Just put it on there and rub it. About that angle. You can see the angle, I guess, maybe. About like that. And we just rub it on that side a while. Rub it on that side a while. Rub it on there. Didn't have WD-40 back then, had machine oil. So we used machine oil when it had some, but if he didn't, he would just get a wad of spit and spit on that stone and then rub it on that spit, like water I guess. I don't know, maybe the oil or something, I don't know. And you keep doing that, keep sharpening, sharpen a while and sharpen a while. Now, next, let's wipe off our blade with the wash rag. Wash rag comes in handy. You can keep your stone wrapped up in the wash rag too, by the way. And have a piece of paper here. Let's see what we got. See if we can slice this piece of paper. This knife is already pretty sharp, so it might take you a little longer doing what I was doing to get your knife sharp enough to slice this paper. Knife won't just fall through it. You have to give it a little slide, and it'll slide. Like so, and it cut the paper. Let's see if it'll cut the double sheet, cut the end of it off. And there's the end of the paper being cut off. Yeah, well, you know what? This knife will get sharper than that. We're going to put a razor edge on it. I'm going to show you how. Well, about a week's gone by, so thought I'd try to finish up my little knife sharpening video. Hopefully you can see it. That's a one-man job here. Just rub it off. I've oiled my stone already, by the way. Put a little WD-40 on it. And I don't know what the grit is, but I can feel this side, and it feels pretty doggone smooth, so you just keep doing this here. The book, everybody says cut, 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 like that, about a 22-degree angle. I don't know, I just do it all kind of ways. It ain't gonna hurt nothing, I don't suppose. And it only needs to be just so sharp. You don't need a razor edge, although I do put a razor edge on the small blade. Don't ever use it hardly, but the larger blade on the knife doesn't need to be all that sharp. Now, I have my belt buckle looped around my foot down here. Let me get it on there a little better where I can pull the belt tight. And you've heard of a razor strop. The old people used to strop the razor, and the barber stropped his razor that he's going to shave you with on a leather strop. This is my belt. I'm going to take this belt. I'm holding it pretty tight, and I can strop this knife on this belt. Hope you can see it. Move it around. Now, after you got a pretty good edge, you strop it for a few licks like this. Test it every once in a while, see if you can shave the hair off of your arm. When you can shave the hair off of your arm, you got it pretty tight. I actually only cut myself one time playing with this knife sharpening to show it to you. And I was cutting a piece of tape, holding a piece of tape up and cutting a piece of tape. Well, it slipped and cut my finger. I had to wrap it up. So be very careful. Stropping and stropping. Almost flat when you do this. See if it's sharp. Yeah, it's pretty good. You can feel a little the sharpness just touching it. Excuse me. Let's look at this larger knife. This is my it's old hickory butcher knife. Looks at about 10, 11 bucks off of Amazon, shipping and everything. These things come pretty doggone sharp, and it's got a carbon steel blade. Now I've jazzed mine up. While I'm going to show you something, I'll show you how I jazzed it up. It's a prototype. This is paracord on a one layer of paracord put on as a handle. It's flat because I put all the strings out of it, of this part, before I wrapped it. This part is paracord that the strings are still in it. It's thicker, you can see that. The reason I left it from here to here, so that when I put it in the case, the clip will reach around it and snap. If I had it this thick all the way, my leather clip wouldn't fit around it. Here I have a guard. It's made out of cardboard. I put it on there just to see how it would do, because I like a guard on a knife, like a Bowie knife kind of. And when I find the right piece of metal to cut and fit on here, maybe a piece of brass or something, I'll replace it with that and figure out how to get it on there good. Now, all that being said, this thing doesn't need to be sharpened. And anyway, but if you sharpen this thing, you be careful because you will cut yourself. You want to cut this way to sharpen it. 22-degree angle. Or you can do it another way. Like if you were going to sharpen an axe or something. you can do this. Make sure your fingers are out of the way. You can do it like this. Sharpen it. It may take a while. Carbon steel is extremely hard, about as hard as steel as it gets. It won't bend, it'll break. So, that's the old hickory. And it's going to look something like that when I get through with it. And you see how I sharpened it. And you got to be very careful with it. Let's go on a little further with this. Well, hopefully we can test the sharpness a little bit with this piece of paper. You just kind of give it a slice and see if it's cut that piece of paper. And there it did. Now, it's a pretty sharp knife. Now, I'm going to try with my, if I can find it, my old hickory. It hasn't been sharpened except for them 2 rubs you saw me put on it just a minute ago. But straight in the factory. Let's see if it's how sharp it is. Wow. That's a sharp edge for a factory. Come right from the factory. Pretty good sharp. $10 knife. You cannot beat that. $10 knife. And that is the end of how to sharpen your knife video. The end.